Thank you very much. I'm really, quite frankly, really thrilled to have been asked to speak to you today. And when I first got asked about 3 weeks ago, I was really over the moon about it for about 2 days, excited, trying to think about what I was going to say and what I could possibly tell you. And then a moment of panic set in. I said, what am I going to wear? The other reason I got really excited about this is because I had this kind of silly childhood dream of speaking at graduation before turning 40. And it looks like we got that in with about 8 hours and 42 minutes to go. So, thank you. 22. So, thank you for indulging me. And only one of those statements is true. Well, this is true. I am a chemistry professor, and I've been teaching general chemistry for about the last 11 years or so, and I get to meet about 120 of you each year as freshmen. And so it's a real thrill to look out and see so many of you here today, a few years later, presumably ready to go out and get them. Well, I know at least 120 of you are, because you are armed with your wallet-sized periodic tables that I gave you 4 years ago. So, if you happen to have them on you today, that means you get to come up first. So, having said this, let me ask you the following. Just a show of hands, let's pretend we're back in a big lecture hall. Who's ready to roll here? Has absolutely everything figured out? Come Monday morning, you know exactly what you're going to do, where you're going to be, and you've got a plan. Right. Let me ask you this. Another show of hands. Who's panic-stricken without a clue as to what to do next? Exactly. Okay. I was going to say, don't worry about raising your hands because your parents can't recognize you where you're sitting. And secondly, I was addressing the graduates' parents. So if you're worried as well, this is their time. And really, who's somewhere in the middle? Who's somewhere that kind of, sort of has it figured out? Okay, well, that's great because I've got a couple of comments for each of you, regardless of your response. And I'd really just like to say that whatever plans you've made are going to change, and that planning, in the strictest sense of the word, in the strictest sense of the definition, is really futile. Okay, you really need to have only one plan, and that's to be ready for change and opportunity. This, of course, is going to mean hard work, focus, making yourself indispensable at any job or activity, and putting yourself in positive situations. But really, this means developing a work ethic. Okay, italicized, the work ethic. Okay, but that means not just putting in the time, but having a set of core values of integrity and honesty and leading by example. You throw everything you've got at whatever it is you're doing, you'll be able to recognize and embrace interesting opportunities that not only you find yourself in, but that you end up attracting, okay? So, I was in your exact spot about 18 years ago. Not the exact spot, because I didn't go to GW, but sitting in a similar forum, pretty much without a clue as to what to do with myself. I was enrolled in a graduate program for the fall, so that was good. I would daydream about the future, what kind of job I'd have, where I'd be living, who I'd be in a relationship with. I had this vision that I'd be out west somewhere, living in a cabin, fly fishing, and making my own soap. I had pretty long hair back then and a mustache, so that probably influenced those visions a little bit. So fast forward to the present. 23 Grateful Dead concerts later, a PhD, 3 trips to Burning Man, 7 blissful years of marriage, tenure, a Fulbright, a great research group, 81 publications, arguably the best job on the planet, and certainly not living in a cabin. I'm fairly certain I did not see any of this coming, and I probably only planned minimally. So having said that, I don't want to toot my own horn here, as I certainly don't claim to have any leg up or intellectual advantage over anyone. I'd like to think I'm a decent scientist. Not great, but decent, okay? Ethically sound. That's all I'm really shooting for. And I don't see a Nobel Prize in the future. And I have tenure, so I can say that. I do claim, however, to have an ability to acknowledge when something is the right thing to do and recognize opportunities when I see them. And by opportunities, I mean activities and people, okay, that are intellectually challenging, affect others positively, and won't leave you broke. If you can do this, then everything else is just a formality. Go get them, folks.